Good morning. My name is Nick, and I'd like to talk to you today about Moses, and specifically the crossing of the Red Sea described in Exodus 14 and 15. Exodus 14 is a prose account of the crossing of the sea, when the Hebrew slaves who had escaped from Egypt crossed through on dry land, while the pursuing Egyptian army drowned when they followed them. It's followed in Exodus 15 by a song of praise to God, a song of exultation at what has happened, at how they have been saved. I chose this passage because Exodus 15, the Song of the Sea, is thought to be one of, if not the very earliest writing in the Old Testament, the closest thing to the events that are described, which happened 3,250 years ago. And it's a raw, emotional, visceral account of escaping the jaws of death as they exult in their God. Exodus 14, on the other hand, is a sort of polished account that's been edited and smoothed, and scholars detect several traditions coming together. For example, it has nature being employed by God. A strong east wind blew all night and blew the waters back. But then again, other verses have Moses simply stretching his arms out over the water and the waters parting and standing up in a heap, standing up like walls on either side of the passage through which the Hebrew slaves escape. But it's a coherent account with God, nature, and Moses all involved. Now, I don't know whether you believe that this happened just as the Bible says, or you don't believe in it at all. You believe that miracles can't happen. Well, at the very least, we have this account, we have this story in Exodus. And just as a story, it's been a powerful inspiration to people through the centuries. Obviously to Jews and Christians, but also to oppressed people like slaves, because of its vision of escape and freedom and salvation. And I'd invite you today to try and live within that story, to choose that story, to behave as if God is that kind of God. And you may find that God acts in just the same way today. And frankly, I don't know what happened 3,250 years ago, but I believe in the miracle at the sea because I've put my trust in this God who I find acts faithfully today to me as well and brings me through all my troubles. And so it's a story of hope, and it should give us hope today. The Hebrew slaves, their reason for leaving Egypt was that they could go and worship God, and how much we would love to get together and worship God. And I believe that God will enable this. I'm very hopeful for the future, that God hasn't abandoned us in the pandemic, but he is sovereign and acting to redeem us, to save us, as he did in the time of Moses. And I'd just like to leave you with the words of Isaiah in chapter 43. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they will not overflow you. And if God is with us, we are with God. And if we are in the presence of God, then even when the waters we pass through are the waters of death, we will be in the presence of God where nothing can die, and we will live with him forever. God is a God of salvation, and I pray that today you will know that fact and you will trust in God and that he will be with you.